Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Golf and Politics. We're going to cover three subjects today. It's just Rob and I. We are going to handle LIV Virginia, which was at RTJ at Rob's Home Clubs. We're going to hear about that. Rob left LIV Virginia, went to Scotland, where he played some amazing golf courses. We're going to talk about his Scotland trip. And then we're going to finish up with where are we at? We're recording this on the 24th of June, so we're almost halfway through 2025. What's the state of our golf game and how many courses we played, how many people we connected with on the golf course, and how does that compare to Rob's year of yes last year that was pretty epic? So, Rob, this is the first night we've been back recording in like 3 or 4 weeks, so good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too. You're clean shaven.
Well, yeah, I get a little stubble. I just on the road here for a little while and just decided to go ahead and shave it back a little bit. Rob, I want to talk to you about LIV Golf at RTJ. We obviously had an amazing episode of encourage people to go back. The superintendent of RTJ, you did such a great job interviewing him as the LIV Pro-Am was going on that day, and the course was just immaculate. And you sent me pictures from this weekend. It's just perfect. You've been skeptical of LIV. My understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, prior to seeing LIV in person at RTJ, you have never watched LIV on TV and had never been to another LIV event. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And you've been kind of skeptical about it, not liking it. I've been more bullish on LIV. And I want to make my point clear on LIV. Like, I love LIV, but I also love YouTube golf. I love the PGA Tour. I like to watch the DP World Tour. Tonight, I'll probably I'm in a hotel room right now, turn on the TV tonight and probably turn on the Golf Channel. I watch golf. And so I like those options. I tend to like the players that are on the LIV Tour. I mean, I've always been a Phil Mickelson fan. I'm a Bubba Watson fan. I'm a Bryson DeChambeau fan. So it's no surprise that I like LIV and have been maybe more bullish on it. But that's not to take away from the fact that I think the PGA Tour is awesome too. And I was glued to the television this weekend when Captain Keegan Bradley made an unbelievable comeback and won that tournament. So how is somebody like you that's never seen LIV, how did you feel about it? What was your experience? And did you have a good time watching those guys?
So first and foremost, I mean, my interest in pro golf has waned dramatically across the board. So I pretty much only watch the Masters, the US Open, the British Open, and then maybe if I catch some of the Memorial because it's in Columbus, or if they're playing a course that I find interesting. My love of golf is more defined by course architecture, trips, friends, taking lessons, getting better. So I would not call myself a fan of pro golf. I really don't enjoy watching it as much as I did during the Tiger era and back when they actually played golf. So I'm a little bit of a throwback on that front. So I really watched very little of the US Open. I fell asleep on Sunday and missed the entire back nine. I got my update by reading the thread on our text chain from the Ireland group. So truth be told, I am way behind you when it comes to knowing who's qualifying for the Ryder Cup, who won at the TPC. Go fuck yourself. I have no idea.
Yeah. All right.
I really have no clue. So I generally I kind of like Jordan Spieth. I really don't follow it that closely. So it's not that I'm like Mr. PGA Tour. I can't stand Jay Monahan. I think how he handled this whole situation was terrible. Was not a huge LIV fan. I will say I'll give all the positives from the experience. One, it's really fun to watch great golfers play your home course and to see them in positions that you've been in hundreds of times. So that is really fun. And one cool thing about the LIV field is that it's small. There's only, I don't know, 50 some of them, 54
Mhm.
of them.
Right.
Um, and a lot of them are big names from, frankly, from when I was growing up, like Sergio Garcia, Adam Scott, Phil Mickelson, people that
Well,
were,
Adam Scott's not on Live,
oh, sorry.
but
Oh, he was
uh,
in the US Open. Sorry. See?
yeah, but
Exhibit A.
yeah, there's plenty of good Australians of his ilk and age that are on Live. So I know
I,
what you
I
mean there.
I should know more about Adam Scott because I've been in love with him for a long, long time. But he's beautiful. Sorry. Um, actually, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. He's just a good looking baby. Anyways, um, you know, I thought the positives of the live event were, for there were only 5,500 fans a day, which I thought was kind of cool. It made it more intimate and personal. I don't know if it's because they want to keep the number of fans down or because it just hasn't grown in that interest yet. But it actually was a perfect number because you could get right up to the ropes. You could get right up to the players. You weren't having to scramble around in like 13 deep fans. Like you really could see what was happening. And I liked that. I thought it was very fan friendly. Um, the music and all that stuff wasn't as annoying as I thought it would be. Um, it
Can I
does
tell
kind
you something? Let me say something there on the music. I find it annoying on the TV broadcasts. So when I'm watching it, like when they're in Singapore and I'm watching it on a Saturday night, watching the final round, the music is just so faint in the background that it just annoys you. However, I've found when like I went to Live Tulsa with my father, we're standing, on the rope line, players are teeing off, and we're having a conversation just like you and I are having, and the players can't hear because the music is so loud. So it's like a
yeah.
different vibe when you're there in person than what you experience
No,
on television.
it's definitely more entertaining for the fan. Obviously, you like hearing music and it's chill and laid back. It does kind of feel more like, I'm oddly enough a pro wrestling fan. Like I love WWE.
Mm.
Um, It feels like the introductions when they come out to the cheers and they have them on the screen, and there were literally fireworks and and, like, parachute parajumpers, what do you call them?
Right.
Whatever, jumping from planes or helicopters, and, like, all it was missing was, like, chicks in bikinis hitting each other with chairs. Like, it felt like pro wrestling, and so that, I mean, it was kind of entertaining, and then it's
Do you
also an
think
adjustment.
are you saying you wanna add that to the MG Cup this year?
Yeah,
Some
no,
parachuters onto.
hey, yeah, I'm all for making it more entertaining. Um, so all of those I think were fine. Like none of that stuff bothered me. It is weird seeing pro golfers in shorts. Like even like growing up, the professional golfer at a public course would wear like Dockers. Like nobody should ever wear Dockers again, but would wear like pleated khakis, and like wearing pants was what denoted somebody like being a professional. So it's weird seeing tour guys in shorts. And I can say this as the gay guy on the show, very few men look good in shorts. Like everyone thinks they do, but very few men actually look good in shorts. And so some of these guys wearing shorts probably would look better in pants. That's just an observation. Um, I don't want to wear pants in this weather. It's really freaking hot. It's disgusting in the District of Columbia right now. But like, if I were a tour player, I'd probably want to wear just long pants. And like the pants they make today, like, even if you get, like, red Vanley or something like that, they're so breathable and
Yeah.
thin that, like, it's kinda like wearing shorts, and, it also protects your skin. I'm very much, a fan of, not getting skin cancer. I think it's a good idea to wear sunscreen and wear pants. So, those are all stupid observations. But I think overall, it was a successful event. Um just like the PGA Tour just like the PGA Tour, the setup committee, from my conversations with Scott and from our team leading up to it, both the PGA Tour and LIV would say, "Oh, we're gonna tip it out, and we're gonna grow up the rough, and we want the greens at 14 or 15, and we want to like." And then as the tournament comes up, they were playing up on almost every hole, just like the PGA Tour. When we had Tiger's event, we actually built new tee boxes that we ended up not using because the setup committee came in and they were like, "We don't want to see him lay up. We want to see him try to drive the green. We want to see him try to get home in two." And Liv did the same thing. So on the scorecard, one day they had 7,600, one day they had 7,300. I think they played it from like 71. Like number 10 and number 17, they didn't even play from the member tees. They played from the senior tees to drive the greens.
And
So
they played 11 as par 4, is that right?
they played 12 as a par 4, but
Or
like
12, I mean,
every
I'm sorry, yeah, 12 the par, yeah, it's 11 is par
which
3, 12.
which the PGA Tour did as well. Solheim played as a par 5. Um, but these tournaments, unless it's the US Open or a major, it's clear they want birdies. Like they want birdies and
Mhm.
eagles and driving the green. And that's not a knock on Live because the PGA Tour did the same thing when they came through.
Hunter, I did hear some consternation from the guys on 12 because it's such a difficult green, and it's a short par 5, and so the defense on that hole is the difficult green, and I've experienced the difficulty of being in the wrong position and high there and still making bogey, and so I think that's where some of the guys are like, we should, shouldn't be a par 5, but they would have still been going for it in 2, so like, what's it matter? But
So when that hole was built, it was built to be a reachable par 5, which it is, obviously. By modern technology, the first couple President's Cups, guys were hitting woods into that green as a par 5. Now it's a driver and a short to mid iron for these guys. So the hole's obsolete. We have a plan. It's not been voted on. I'm not divulging any state secrets from the club, but we have renderings to turn that in to move the green down and to the left and turn it into a more reasonable long par 4, and then to make the next hole a par 5 hitting over that walking
oh
bridge.
yeah,
And that'll be a better, longer par 5 with a
yeah, that
better
would
par
be.
4. But
Would you
as of
still
right
be able?
now,
When the par 5, if they turn that into par 5, will take that little speed slot out of play though. That's nice on that hole, right?
y well, yeah, but right now, like, the speed slot can be really problematic from where the tour tees are because it can go straight down into the water
Yeah.
on off the tee. So, if you move the tee back to where the current 12 green is, you open up the trees, you hit over that inlet, over the
Yeah, that'd be
putting
cool.
green. Then they'll hit all the way out to the point in 2, and for me, it'll probably be a 3-shot hole, but I think it'll be a much better par 5.
Okay, two short questions on it, and we'll move on to Scotland because you left there to go to Scotland. Which, by the way, you weren't there on Sunday, but did you see the shot that Phil Mickelson
I did, it was
hit? That's
outstanding.
unbelievable. All right,
Yeah.
so how much wear and tear to the golf course did it recover immediately? And was this overall a net positive for RTJ as a very active member at the club? Was this a net positive for you
Yeah,
guys?
I'll answer the second one first. Yes, absolutely. I think it was financially great. I think it was good publicity. Um, I don't think it cost us anything with hosting for future events with PGA or anybody else. I thought Live, from all reports, was great to work with, um, and ran a good tournament and ran a good tournament. So yeah, I think it was a net positive all in all. I don't think there were any drawbacks to it. I'm glad we did it. As far as wear and tear, I was just there yesterday hosting a political fundraiser, and pretty much the last of the grandstands and everything that was there is taken down and moving. Um, Most of the wear and tear is just where the grandstands were, and that'll all get resodded over the next week or so. And my guess is by July 4th, you won't be able to see a thing. And the cool thing about live events, which is actually similar to the President's Cups and the Solheim Cup, is that the smaller field is awesome because you only have 50 some golfers. You have less wear and tear on your practice tee, less wear and tear on the course. When we hosted Tiger Woods' event, it was a full PGA field of 125.
Oh, okay.
They beat the hell
Yeah.
out of the course. You
Yeah.
know, when you have 125 tour pros on your property for 6 days, your driving range gets chewed to shreds. They hit in the same places on the fairways. Your fairways get chewed, your par three tees get chewed. Like the live impact on the course, both in the rough from fans and the build out, is far less than what it was for Tiger's tournament at RTJ and more in line with the Solheim Cup and the President's Cup. Although I heard the live build out on the structures and the signage is more than the Ryder Cup. Um, their
Really?
build their build out is unbelievable. I mean, they had a tattoo parlor for kids. They had a full miniature golf putting course. They had big screen TVs. They had food trucks. So the fan experience is actually pretty cool. Um, but their build out is significant. The most wear and tear we have is actually in the rough from where the build out was,
Okay.
not from the players.
Well, last thing I'll say about that just came out a couple days ago, I believe. The Live Duels from RTJ is really entertaining on YouTube. Plug for those guys. But moving
Yeah, I
on,
gotta
you
watch.
left. You flew out early and went to Scotland, where you played Royal Troon. I can't pronounce. I'm
Ma-
struggling to say it again.
Macrahonics, Macrahonish,
Macrahonish, the
the
Macri,
Macri,
Ardfin Estate, North
Berwick.
Berwick. Sorry,
Yeah,
Kilspindi. Is that how you say that?
yeah, Kilspindi.
I'm from Weirton, West Virginia, man. Bear with me on these.
Hey, it's all right.
Dun
I'm
Dunbar and Renaissance, not Renaissance. Renaissance Club, right?
Renaissance. Yeah, that's not bad.
Not
That's not
bad.
bad.
All right.
I
Well,
mean, we're gonna.
let me go through a couple of these with you. I have
Yeah,
some specific questions. Uh, four of these courses are on the top 100 in the world. Where are you right now? Total number of top 100 in the world.
83.
83. Incredible. So 17 away from finishing that list. Uh, there's four that you played on top 100, one of which you've played before, North Berwick. Troon, Royal Troon. You've never played there. Now, this is a course that Xander Schauffele won the Open Championship there last year. Henrik Stenson won the Open Championship in an epic battle with Phil Mickelson. Some guy named Todd Hamilton that I've never heard of since he won the British Open in like 2005 or 4 or whenever that was. Justin Leonard won there, Mark Kakavecchia, your man Tom Watson, Tom Weiskopf, Arnold Palmer. I mean, this is a place steeped in history. So, what was it like stepping on the first tee? I know personally, if I step somewhere that has been such of great historical significance to the game of golf, it feels different. Did it feel different playing Troon?
It did, and it's one that I've wanted to play for a while. So this trip, I finished all the all the courses in Scotland that I really want to play or need to play. I'm done in Ireland too, but I was over there last year and we couldn't get on because of the British Open, the Open Championship. So before I get to the first tee, I wasn't going to play that day because it was a member only day. And I checked into my hotel, the Marine and Lawn, right off the 18th hole, and I was having a drink, and a guy next to me asked me where I was playing that day, and I said, "Well, I wanted to play Troon, but I can't because it's a member only day, so I have to come back and do it another time." And he told me, he said, "Hey, it's your lucky day. I'm a member. Um, I'm happy to take you out and play if you want to." It's like my wife will get pissed at me. But let's do it. And I said, "Hey, your marriage is your problem. I'm happy to cause that. But let's go play." So that's one of the things that I love most about golf, in general, is just stuff like that that happens more than you would think. And
But Rob, like that is what I want to be when I grow up. And I'm not, I'm 43 years old, so I'm already grown up. I get it, but I've been able to do some of those kind of things, but not something like that. Like One of the clubs I played this year, like our host was so gracious and so great and just opened up the place to us and made the experience so wonderful. And I just want to be able to do that for other people because it's like when you told us that story on our text thread, we were all blown away. But like you said, this happens in golf when you get around great people that pay it forward to others. And I just want to pay it forward as
You
well.
know, best example, our friend of the show, Wayne Vallis, is a member of the St. Andrews Golf Club and can get access to tee times on the old course. And I would say at least on 4 or 5 occasions, he has personally taken me and a group of buddies out to make dreams come true and gone down there at 5 in the morning to make sure it happened. And one thing I didn't know about that man is there are days where he doesn't play, he doesn't have somebody to host, and he'll go down where a father and son are waiting around the pro shop, who couldn't get on and say, "Hi, I'm Wayne Ballas. Where are you from? Have you played the old course? Were you able to get on?" And if they say no, he'll say, "I'll take you." He loves doing
Wow.
that for random people that he's never met, and there are countless of them. And he doesn't talk about it, but he just loves making people's day. And then I've seen him there were people standing outside at St. Andrews Golf Club, which is right off the 18th green at the old course, and it's this, like, old brownstone, this, like, three-story brownstone, and there were 2 or 3 guys trying to peek in, and he's like, "Oh, do you know what that is?" And they said, "Yeah, it's a secret club, the St. Andrews Golf Club." And Wayne will open the gate and say, "Well, I'm a member. How'd you like to come in for a drink?" That's the type of shit he does, and
That's
that's
incredible.
good. So I benefited from this at Trin. Um, it had to be 30, 35 mile per hour winds. It was a true Scottish experience. I've heard mixed results on that course, like, from people that have played a lot of places. A lot of people who I respect have said, like, "It's okay. I don't know if it's top 100," but the ones who said that it's awesome were right, and the dividing line is on skill. Like, everyone that told me it wasn't that good were the worst players, and everyone who told me it's incredible were the good players, and, like, it's incredible. Like, not just the postage stamp is epic. It's one of the best par
What
threes.
did you that's one of my questions here. What did you hit on the postage stamp? What was the
So
wind direction?
okay, so it was pretty much dead into us off the ocean, dead into us. It's 123 yards, which is usually my pitching wedge. I hit a 7 iron.
Wow.
Um, and I put it on the back of the green and two putted for par, but I made sure to try bunker shots out of the coffin bunker and out of the bunker to the right, just because I've seen it on TV so many times that I had to try it. I didn't get either of them up and down, and that's the strength of my game. So it's really, really, really hard, but just amazing. I thought, I that's the hole that everybody wants to play, but, like, I could name a dozen of them that were, terrific, and it was a great experience. I broke 80 in the wind, first first round off the plane, first time seeing it. I think I shot 77. So yeah, I played pretty well and I loved it. It was really cool.
Okay, great. Moving on to next course, Machrihanish. Is it that am I say it right that time?
Yeah,
Almost?
Machrihanish.
Okay. Looks
I
like it
met
might be the best opening tee shot that I've ever seen when I saw a video of that opening hole.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people say it's the best in the world. I think it's the best I've played. Um, you tee off, you know, right on you hit over the beach to the ocean. So
Right.
it's like a cape hole kind of design where the fairway runs perpendicular to the tee. So if I'm here, if this is the tee, the fairway goes this way, and here's the beach, and you're right on the ocean. So
Wow.
right out of the gate, like there are a lot of links golf holes that play along the ocean. There are very few where you hit over the beach and over the water to the fairway. And I can't think of any other ones I've ever seen where it's the first tee shot. Uh,
Yeah.
of the day. So I met up with my buddies at the Glasgow airport after playing Troon. We took this really weird puddle jumper plane out to Machrihanish, which is west of like, mainland Scotland. And we literally got off the plane in a van and went straight to the course. We teed off at 6 p.m. and we walked 18 fantastic holes in 3 hours, finished at 9 p.m. It was still daylight. And we pre-ordered our dinner before we teed off, so it was ready for us when we got done because the kitchen closed. And Machrihanish, fantastic, deserves to be in the top 100. Um, the very next morning, we got on a large ferry for a couple hours to go play the Macri. It's not in the top 100, but still a really cool resort. It just absolutely pissed rain. I mean, it was just,
Really?
absolutely soaked. My waterproof gear that costs a fortune, just damn near ruined. Shoes, damn near ruined. But we played all 18. Really nice course, a lot of fun. We
The
met up with,
resort looked really nice. The pictures you posted online, and maybe Jordan, we can give it, post some
uh,
of these pictures in post production. But I mean, you did some. I mean, the picture of that resort looked amazing to me on
yeah,
online.
like, yeah, really, really good resort, worth playing. Like, if you go play the like Ayrshire region of Scotland. So the west coast of Scotland, like west of Glasgow, that region is Royal Troon, Prestwick, Turnberry, um, Western Gales. Like, those are the big name courses. So you can fly into Glasgow and knock those out, and that's like one region. Um, then you can take the ferry and also do Machrihanish and the Macri. If you wanted to like knock out Western Scotland, that's a wonderful trip. Most people do Turnberry, Troon, and Prestwick. But if you want to get adventurous, add Machrihanish and the Macri, and you got a great little trip there with that rotation.
Now, did you go with people from the United States, or you just go by yourself on this trip?
Yeah, so there were 8 of us.
Okay.
So, only 3 of us did Machrihanish, and then all 8 of us did, the Macri, and then all 8 of us went and did Ardfin Estate, which is,
I want to
uh
hear about this. Like, here's one. The first hole right off the bat, it just looks almost impossible. Like, if you miss it a little bit right, you're in the ocean. If you miss it a little bit left, you're in the gorse. I do see that holes 5 and 6 have 100-yard fairways, so I thought, okay, there's some relief there for somebody like me. But that first hole looks hard, man.
yeah, it's so first, like, it's ranked number 65 in the world. We were the 2nd group to play it this year, and that's it. So
How
it's
is that? And it's a fairly new
yeah,
build, right? I mean, it's not very old, right?
yeah, like 15, 20 years
Yeah.
old. Man, only a couple groups play it a year. It's owned by one billionaire from uh Australia. And you can take a ferry to get there. I would imagine a lot of the guests that come in and out. We flew private on the way out. Some people took helicopters in, helicopters out. Um, but it's on the Isle of Jura in the Southern Hebrides, on an island well off the coast of Scotland. So getting there is like, you know, we were 8 a.m. Golf put together the trip. They're amazing. Um, we had to fly in the caddies. We had a Michelin star chef. We stayed 2 nights. We're there 3 days. We got to play the course as much as we wanted. The food, the service, the accommodations, absolutely out of this world. For only being one of the 2 groups to get to play it all year. It was not cheap. I'm not gonna quote out loud what it costs to do this. It was absolutely, without question, the most expensive golf course I've ever golf experience I've ever played, and to cross out, like, by a factor of a lot. Um, but I'm really glad we did it. Um, I mean, I just can't tell you how amazing the experience was. The golf course is really hard. Um, in some cases, it's too penal. Um, you'll have like, they'll take driver out of your hand off the tee on a par four. So you can't hit it past 250, but then you'll have over 215 or 20 in on your approach shot
Yeah.
with a forced carry and then rock hard turf and greens with trouble in front of it and behind it. And so
Yeah.
like you get some of those shots where it's like, I don't care what you're hitting in, you're not going to stop it. And if you don't hit it perfectly, you're bringing 6 or 7 into the equation. So it's really, really hard. And like, I don't think the owner cares. Like, it's not there to host tournaments. He had to barge in all of the sand, all of the turf,
And
everything
then
was
so
on.
his superintendent and his staff just live there on the island, or how's that?
Yeah, they
Uh,
live there and they take care of it and they make sure that it's ready for like the 1 month a year that this guy lives there. And he there was one castle that's hundreds of years old. He bought the castle and then he built like the pro shop, the bar, the facilities, and then there's probably 12 rooms and they each have their own private outdoor entrance to them. They're stunningly beautiful. He built like a cinema with 12 leather
wow.
seats. Um and it's separate from where he lives. But
It's incredible.
there's like a short course, a par 3 course by where his 12 guests can stay. And then you walk by his castle to get to the first tee and to get to the eighth tee. And it's just the views
How was the short course and the par three course? Were they fun?
fantastic. They're
Yeah.
fantastic and they're great fun and you can play them as much as you want. And it's not like being at a resort. Like you're a guest of this billionaire and it's your treat. But then, like, his castle, no one stays in it but him.
Okay.
Like, there were enough rooms for everybody to stay in the castle, but, like,
Yeah.
he built his own little separate village for the rest of us. And then the driving range, I mean, everything is just I would say it's one of the 3 most beautiful golf courses I've played on the planet, right up there with Lofoten Links in Norway up in the Arctic Circle.
Uh,
And equally as ridiculous to get to. I mean, absolutely really hard to get to, but spectacular. I mean, like, I'll never do it again, probably, but it's a memory I'll never forget.
Fantastic. Now there's a 19th hole there too, right? And is that right?
Uh, yeah, well, yeah, there's like a bonus hole, but you
Like
don't play.
between like 8 and 9, like it's
Yeah, between 8 and 9, there's a par 3 bonus hole,
okay.
and yeah, you play it. It doesn't count toward your score. Um, but it had some of the most scenic, beautiful golf balls I've ever seen. Very penal. The walk, I mean, the one of our hosts told us that the equivalent of the walk is really like walking 27 holes in the United States to play 18. I think it's worse than that. Right? Like it was it was somewhere between 8 and 8.5 miles.
How was
And
the
you
weather? How was the weather for the round?
Oh, we got so lucky at Ardfin, and thank God, because if it was
Yeah.
pissing rain, that like 8.5 to 9 mile walk would have been a nightmare. Like the weather we got at the Macri was pretty much just that day and then at Renaissance. But at Ardfin, it was like 65 and sunny all 3 days and perfect, and the food was great, and it was just perfect. So I'm really glad that it didn't piss rain the whole time we're there. On my Scotland and Ireland and England trips, I really want there to just be like 1 day of that weather. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy getting the full experience like you got at Ballybunion Old. Um, I'm fine getting that once. I don't want it every day.
Oh,
So my
I didn't get that experience about it. I remember I
oh
played Bally Bunny with you. It's the other guys
yeah.
that got it.
Oh, we got Valley
You,
Bunny Old on the good.
you and I went back to bed and we played in the afternoon at
Yeah.
Cashion Course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that was Ardfin.
Renaissance. Go back to our listeners. Go back and listen to the Rich Levine episode. You'll love it. If you're a golf nut at all, you will love that episode. He loves that course. He's a member there. They host the Scottish Open this year. Is that right?
Yeah, they host the Scottish Open pretty much every year,
Pretty much every year. Okay.
and the family that owns it, it's like, I'm gonna get some of these details a little off. So for the people listening that know a ton about Renaissance, if I get some of the details a little bit off, they're honest mistakes. Um, so it's owned by a family out of originally out of Cleveland, Ohio. Um, I think there are four or five brothers. I was a guest of Jerry, who's one of the brothers who lives there year round. His other brothers, one lives in Virginia, one lives in Florida. I forget where the others are, but at any rate, it's American owned. Roger Clemens was one of the original investors in it. I think they have somewhere between 250 and 300 members, a lot of Americans. What makes Renaissance different is that it is a truly private club. So it is unlike, I'm wearing a Muirfield zip up. Muirfield is a golf club in Scotland, just like North Berwick, where they have local members, but the public can access them at certain times. At Renaissance, you've got to play with a member. It's American style. So it's a links golf course designed by Tom Doak. It's a really good golf course. It is located on land directly abutting Muirfield and North Berwick,
Wow.
right right on the sea. And if you look across the sea, it's St. Andrews, Crail, and Kingsbarn. So
Wow.
we are talking
Yeah.
primo land. And they have beautiful facilities. They have member cottages. They have like an inn for members to stay at. That used to be the clubhouse. I stayed in what used to be the men's locker room that's now been turned into like an owner's suite with a shower that just like, I mean, it was like a pressure washer to clean an elephant. I mean, I got out of the shower and was like dizzy, I mean, it was almost too aggressive.
Similar to the
Mem-
shower head that Kramer bought out of the back of the
yeah,
truck, a black market shower head.
I mean, this
Side
would have
flip.
made this shower would have made Donald Trump proud. I mean, there was serious water
Nobody,
pressure.
nobody likes those low flow shower heads. Nobody likes those.
Nobody likes a low flow water shower, but this thing was like, I mean, it almost hurt to take the fucking shower. Like I got out of the shower and I literally was dizzy. But um,
Fox
before I
Chapel, so Fox Chapel will give you a run for. I felt like
yeah,
they have some serious water pressure at that place.
yeah, I just showered at Fox Chapel last week and was reminded what a good showers we have. Um, but Renaissance, like the food, like you can tell, like the food is London or New York City quality. Like
Really?
I was joking with somebody earlier on the trip that I've never had a good plate of pasta in England, Ireland, or Scotland. Like they just don't get the sauce right. There's like there's no seasoning, there's no kick to it. But like at Renaissance, you can tell an American hired an Italian to do this. Everything's good. Like the food is like
Yeah,
it's legit
that's
quality.
great.
So so I guess for the locals and for the Scottish like snobs of like any golf course that is built by an American or less than 400 years old, they kind of like thumb their nose at it. But like, let's be honest, the place is sweet. Like
Yeah.
the owners are great. I showed up. I was wearing an RTJ. I don't have RTJ. I was wearing an RTJ polo, and one of the owners was also wearing an RTJ shirt, which sparked a conversation, which sparked many drinks and food and golf and before you know it, like I'm plugged in with like the family that owns the joint. One of the owners was on our trip to Ardfin, which is why and Rich Levine is a member. Rich Levine was on the trip. Dave Forgan was on the trip. He's also a Renaissance member. And there are a handful of RTJ guys who are members at Renaissance. So like I like the people, I like the food, I love the golf course, I love everything about it. I don't care if people say, "Oh, it's American," or, "Oh, it's, snooty." It's not, it is American, it's not snooty, it's very nice. Um, but the people there were delightful, and I would join it. Like, I loved it that much, I thought it was great.
Well, I think this is the last one to talk about North Berwick. And you've told me that North Berwick it's in the top 100. It's a course you've played before. You've told me it's one of your absolute favorite courses in the world.
Yeah, you could
Obviously, one of your favorite architects was incredibly inspired by North Berwick, Seth
yes.
Rayner, right? So why don't you tell us, why was Seth Rayner so inspired by North Berwick? Why do you love it so much? And how was your experience on this trip?
Well, I mean, North Berwick it's fun. It is the epitome when people talk about a golf course being fun, North Berwick is the first one that comes to mind. I mean, not only can you take your dog and walk your dog out there, which is great. Jeff Shackelford pointed that out. Like, I think that's a great quality. Um, it's just a blast. Like, there's some tricky shots, there's some blind shots. I mean, there's some holes where there's a brick wall right at the entrance of the green, and you got to hit your approach shot or a pitch shot over a brick wall. Um, the Redan green was originated there. The sloping from front right to back left, like running away from you, hitting a long shot over a bunker and then using the slope to the green. Um, the Burritz green where there's a dip in between, the start of the green and the back, that started there. So CB McDonald and Seth Rayner were inspired. And just to put it in modern context, even though it's not the hardest golf course in the world, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, and JT have already secured their tee time there. And it's an annual thing for them when they come over to do the Scottish Open at Renaissance or the Open Championship, wherever it ends up being. This year it's in Northern Ireland. They love North Berwick and they go play North Berwick. That's how fun it is.
Yeah.
And it really has grown in popularity a lot over the last decade. It used to be one of those hidden gems, and now it's pretty much a must stop on every trip. And it should be. Like, it deservedly is a blast, and it's a wonderful golf course. And I played there, and I forgot to write down Crail. I went back up to Crail where I'm a member, and I think that's also one of the most charming courses in Scotland. um, it's 36 holes. 18 of it are original Old Tom Morris, and 18 of it are new Gil Hands. And one is just a lovely course out on the coast on cliffs, and that's Old Tom Morris, and it's just fun. It's
Yeah.
par 69, and it
Okay.
doesn't matter. It's just fun. And then the Gil Hands course is par 72, over 7,000 yards, and more of a tournament course. But being a member there, you get the best of both worlds, and I can bring 7 guests at a time. They can play unlimited golf on both courses for the day for £40, which is 60
Wow.
which is $60. Unlimited golf on 2 world-class courses, Old Tom Morris and Gil Hands, right on the coast, on the same land as Kingsbarns and the old course at St. Andrews, and arguably just as fun as either of them. Um, and then so my guests can play unlimited golf for 60 US dollars. They get 20% off merchandise in the pro shop playing with me and 20% off food and beverage.
Wow.
And my fee to be a member there is like, I think it's like 350 pounds a year, so like 400 or 500 bucks a year. And
It's incredible.
if I take a group there once for like a full day or 2 days, it's worth it
Well,
because
we're gonna go there someday for sure.
yeah, yeah. I actually, it might even be less than what I quoted. I don't know. They automatically deduct it from my bank account every year, and I don't even know what it is. So it must not be that much.
Yeah, it's great. There are actually two other courses we didn't talk about, Kilspindie and Dunbar. Any
Yeah. So
highlights you want to give of those ones?
Yeah, so Kilspindie and Dunbar, um, like everybody else I read on like Golf Course Atlas or Tom Doak, who's, a great architect, great American architect. He talks about courses that are hidden gems or must plays, on your second, third, or fourth trip, right? So on our episode with Mike Blackham, we talked about B sides and A sides. So A sides would be world top 100s or super famous courses in Scotland that you would play on your first trip. So like the A sides would be the old course at St. Andrews, Carnoustie, Turnberry, Troon, North Berwick now, Muirfield. Those are the A sides that like your bucket list. If you're doing one trip to Scotland in your lifetime and it's your bucket list trip, you're playing the old course, Muirfield, Turnberry, Troon, North Berwick, Carnoustie, those ones. The B sides are the gems. They're the ones that like maybe they're not ranked in the top 100. Maybe they don't have tour buses in the parking lot, but they're a blast. They're beautiful. They're fun. They're never going to host a big tournament, but they're the ones like Crute Island in Ireland
Oh,
is
yeah.
is a, is in my mind a hidden gem. Carn, Carn's not on any top 100 list, but it's outstanding. I loved uh County Sligo in Ireland. So to me, like those would be B sides. Um Donegal, like St. Patrick's would be an A side because
Right.
it's ranked and famous. But on so many of my trips, I come back and it's the Kilspindies and Dunbars of the world
Yeah.
that I'm like, God, I want to do that again. Because
Yeah. I mean,
like
look, in my trip to Ireland with you, St. Patrick's was very low on my list compared to Critch
exactly,
Island.
like
I mean,
yeah, like
County Sligo to me is a course I could play every day for the rest of my life. Like amazing golf course.
yeah, so
So
like, I
I
mean,
get exactly what you're saying.
like Ballybunion is a legit A side. Like to me, Ballybunion is the best combination of world renowned, world ranked, has the pedigree, but is also freaking awesome and
Yeah.
like a blast, challenging. St. Patrick's, eh, I thought it was beautiful.
It was
Um,
beautiful.
I enjoyed it. I'm glad we did it, but I'd rather go back and play Ballybunion or Enniscrone or County Sligo, just to be honest with you. And so Dunbar and Kilspindie were in that
In that
category
vein.
of
Well,
like,
so I mean,
yeah,
here's what I'm hearing from this is you played 9 courses, right? Do I have that right? 9 courses
it sounds right. Yeah.
and no bad experiences. No courses you're
No,
like, don't want to go back there. You liked them all enough that you would
no,
highly recommend them.
yeah, it was, I mean, all of the courses were really good. Um, Ardfin, if you really want to do a special experience in golf, top three, top five experience in golf, not top three, top five course. Like the course is great. It is one of the two most beautiful I've ever played. It is wonderful, but like it's not the greatest course. But my God, that experience is, Augusta National won best experience in golf. And then like the argument for Ardfin being number two, or definitely in the top three or five, no question. But expensive, super exclusive, really hard to do. Um, but awesome. But the whole trip was great. Enjoyed everything about it.
Well,
Hard,
fantastic.
yeah, impossible to fuck up. Impossible to fuck up.
Well, let's finish this episode with just giving a mid-year update. We are recording this, I think I said it earlier, recording this on June 24th. So, Rob, I'm looking at you sent me a little update. You've played 50 different courses in 2025 so far. Last year at this point, your year of yes, you had already played 76. So you're slacking. But compared to me, you're still way ahead of me. I know I'll get to my stats in a minute, but First time courses that you've played in 2025, 40 new courses, which is pretty incredible. 74 total rounds of golf. You'd already played 100 at this point in 2024, but you've played in 6 different countries. You've played in the US, England, Scotland, China, Japan, and South Korea. And you've played in 13 states: Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, DC. Well, DC is not a state, but
DC's a
whatever.
state. It's a state.
South Carolina, North
I'll be in
Carolina,
I'll be in Puerto
Georgia,
Rico later this year too. I'll be in
uh,
Puerto Rico, so yeah.
Georgia, Florida, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Oklahoma, and California. So, uh, 21 courses that are on top 100s, scoring average of 74 for the year. 4 rounds in the 60s, 19 rounds of par or better. Your current handicap is plus 1.4. Man,
Yeah.
why on earth did I agree to play you straight up at the GMP Cup? I
You
am
negotiate
regretting
you
that this.
negotiate the best deals. You negotiate the best deals. Um, look, the thing I've learned from the first half of this year to last year is that, one, playing as much as I did and traveling as much as I did, even though I've played a lot this year and traveled a lot, I've played 30 fewer rounds and 26 fewer courses over the same span. And I feel healthier. I feel happier. I feel more rested. I feel stronger. The pace of what I did last year was too much. Um, so I've had more time to, um, I've had more days without touching a club. I've had more days where, like, maybe I went out to RTJ and took a lesson and, like, chipped and putted for an hour or so, or hit balls for 20 or 30 minutes, and that was it, instead of, like, just filling time with golf courses. I wasn't able last year to get into any kind of a routine, either with, like, eating consistently, um, sleeping consistently, work, just general health, like exercise. So I was so excited to finally be strong enough to, like, be able to do it, that I just didn't stop. And this year, like, I've been able to get in more of a routine. Like, I feel better. Like, I feel stronger when I play. And I took the time to make a couple key swing changes with Mike that I knew I needed to make last year, but I kind of just kept putting a band-aid on it, because it'd be like, oh, well, I've got a trip coming up to Oklahoma, or I've got a trip coming up to Nebraska, or I've got the member, or I've got a trip to France. I don't want to rebuild my swing before that. Like, I knew there were two things that would be a pain in the ass to change, like, take several months of awkwardness. And really, it wasn't until, like, maybe the last, like, 2 to 3 weeks where, like, it's now working. Like,
Mhm.
it feels comfortable. And, like, the best comparison I can give some of these swing changes to, like, when you're adjusting your plane, your path, the club face at different points in the swing, um, when you're doing those changes and you have multiple swing thoughts going on, and I'm not a very technical player, it's like me trying to shoot three-pointers left-handed.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hitting the ball and it feels swipey, and I was hitting this, like, weak cut. And, like, the weak cut, you can get away with. You can predict it, you can score. If you have a good short game, you can put a Band-Aid on it, but it was costing me 25 yards off the tee. It was costing me 20 feet in height on my irons. And so I took a lesson the other day with Mike. I'm hitting my irons so much higher and softer. We played yesterday in the tournament at RTJ, and I had 3 drives, 280, 285, and
Right.
290, which for me
It's awesome.
is awesome. Like, if I'm hitting at
For anyone,
280
that's awesome.
if I'm hitting at 285 in the middle with a 5-yard draw, I'm gonna win, like
Yeah.
most matches. Unless I run into somebody that hits at 335 down the middle every time and has a great short game, then I'm in trouble. But those guys are on tour. I'm not worried. Like, if I'm hitting it solid and high and down the middle, I'm gonna do okay. But the swing changes are finally working. I'm really compressing the ball nicely. I'm hitting it straight. I've got some zip back on the ball and all the hard work with Mike. And I'll tell you what, over the last couple months, I give Mike a lot of credit because he took the brunt of a lot of my fucking foul mouth during lessons. Never was I mad at him because I knew going into it that this was going to be annoying. Like I'm doing some foreign things. Um, but it's working. I trusted in him. I got frustrated with me that like I couldn't make the changes faster. Um, but it just takes time. It takes reps, you know, and you got to trust it and you got to trust it under pressure. And up until the last month, like, man, I struggled at the first part of this year. Um, and didn't enjoy a lot of my golf as much as I should have. But like, I'm super excited for the rest of the summer because now I feel like I got it. Like, I feel like I
Yeah.
got it. Yeah. So,
Well, I got work to do. I've played a lot of golf this year. You know, in non-election years, it's a little easier for me. I've started this system. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, most days and try to get a lot of work done in the mornings so that I get freed up to play golf in the afternoons and do some of the traveling I'm doing. And I mean, I'm telling you, Rob, like this is the most I've traveled for golf in my life. I've taken more trips and played more golf courses. I'm still behind where you're at on pace for this year, and I feel exhausted at times. It's just
you're, you're
it's hard
close.
hard to figure out how to juggle all of it. You know, like routine has been such an important part of my life and my business. And so when I get off those routines, it's sometimes difficult to like get the work done on an airplane or the internet goes out on the plane and you can't get the work done for those 2 hours and that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, your numbers are great. I mean, you're at 76 rounds. I'm at
You know,
74. I've
76,
played,
I've logged 61. So some of those were scrambles or, you know, just out there playing with other people for practice or whatever. But 61 rounds I've logged. I don't know my average scoring because, you know, the truth is, for me, average scoring doesn't matter because, like, I played a course on Saturday where I shot a 74, and it wasn't nearly as good a round as the 85 that I shot on
yeah.
Wednesday because the course I played on Wednesday was 7,800 yards in Florida. You know, it was a 77.9 course rating. So that 85 was a better differential. So I just tracked my differentials. I'm averaging 8.27 on those 61 rounds. My handicap is never it's not gotten below 4 this year, I believe, and it's not gotten above 4.5. It just keeps kinda staying consistently there. And the one thing that's been consistent about my golf game is the inconsistency, and I think that you saw that when we played I mean, when we played at the Part 3, that doesn't really count. That's just a we were just out there doing an interview, but, like, when we played the country club at Salt Lake from the tips, you saw me play really, really well on certain holes, and then you saw me on other holes like, What the hell are you doing?" Like, I think
I think
I told you on text, if President Trump was looking at me, he'd be like, "He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing." You're like, "Yes."
yeah. I noticed one thing for sure. I'm convinced you hit the mini driver better than your driver. I think the mini driver you hit on the front nine, you hit it a mile. It was straighter. It had less side spin. It was in play. And on those holes, you did great. And then on the back nine with your normal driver, it has a lot more left to right spin. I don't know if it's the face or the shaft or what, but you hit that mini driver way better.
Yeah,
Um,
lately it's been both been problematic, and what's interesting is it's you can't pinpoint one thing, and you look at even the data that I track, it's impossible to pinpoint because it's all on the tee box, but it's not with a specific club. Like it could be the driver, it could be a two hybrid. It could because I there are times where I'm like, I don't need driver here. My two hybrid goes 250, 260. Let me just pull that out and put it in play. And I'll hit that dead right or dead left. And I don't know what it is. It seems like every round I play 12 holes like a scratch, and I play 4 to 6 holes like an 18 handicap. And then so your score just gets shredded when you have multiple double and triple bogeys on the card,
I'm
and that's happened so much to me this
I
year.
mean, you have, like, and I mean this as a sincere compliment, like, you have a Happy Gilmore level gift, like, freakish gift of how far you can hit it, and reining that in because the bulk of the courses we're gonna play and the events that we play in, like, you've outgrown them, like, as far as distance, and I know, like, it's one thing to try to, like, figure out how to keep that speed and, like, make it a little bit straighter, but, like, dude, the key for you to get from a 4 or 4.5 to
Driving
scratch.
penalties. It's all driving penalties. If I get rid of
Yeah,
driving penalties,
I'll
everything else will come into play. I'll be fine.
it is it's the and it's not even 6 shots, it's probably 3, but, like, my focus would be making sure your 2 worst misses off the tee for the day are in play, um, hitting hitting 2 more greens around, and
Which will be
then
easier when I hit it off the tee into the fairway or in play, right?
and just tidying up 3 putts and silly fucked up wedge shots, like,
Yeah.
just 2 of them around. So, like, inside 100 yards, you can't miss the green. You never wanna make a bogey from inside 100. You never wanna make a double. You can make an occasional bogey, but you never wanna make a double. But I'm just saying, like, you do one of each of those 3 things, and you're a scratch before you know it. Like, it's that
Yeah.
simple. Like,
It totally is.
it's not rocket science, and just kind of reining that in and dialing that in, like, I think on the short stuff, um, one of the things I've really been trying to do is be able to hit the trajectory low, medium, high with my lob wedge and my 54, and doing so in your practice without taking any divot.
Yeah.
So, like, because sometimes on your shorter stuff, I notice you grab a little bit. And so learning the bounce on your different wedges and using that as your benefit when you go through the ball, because when you're hitting like 10, 20, 30, 40-yard chips, you really don't want to be digging and taking, divots. Those, like, the clubs just sort of
Yeah.
and getting those, because that's how you can control trajectory, distance, and spin. And
Yeah.
so I'll tell you what, you do those things, and that's how you get to scratch. Like, get rid of one bad drive around, hit one more green, and just tidy up those little wedges, and you're there. You're
I'm not a
scrap.
quitter, so I'm gonna keep working at it. I actually been having a lot of fun because like I realized that there's a lot good about my golf game. It's just like you said, it's these dumb mistakes, and it's not as easy as just flipping a switch and saying stop making dumb mistakes. Like I've got to learn to really stay focused in. What happened to me on Saturday? I was down in Florida playing with my son and my brother-in-law and my niece's boyfriend, and it's an easier course, right? But I was 2 under on the front nine with a 3 putt and a missed 3 foot putt for birdie. So I mean, I easily could have been 4 under par on the front nine. I go to the back, smoke the mini driver right up next to the green. I chip it up to 10 feet, miss the putt, but still like feeling great about my golf game. Then I proceed to hit the worst drive you can imagine on a very short par four that's drivable with the mini driver, double bogey. Then I bogey the next hole because I hit it in the crap and had to make a really great shot just to save bogey. And then I 3 putted the next hole for bogey. And it's like, boom. There goes the round. You're 4 over in a matter of 3 holes. I had another 3 putt coming in, and I think I had one birdie, and it's like there's a really lackluster 74 that should have been a solid 68, you know.
Well, and if you think about where to put your investment in time, so, like, Bryson will talk about his 370-yard tee shot and the strokes gained on field. Well, it's strokes gained on field because it's in play and the next shot he's hitting to 10 feet. It's not stroke gains on field. If you outdrove me by 80 yards,
Exactly.
I hit my 7 wood to 15 feet and you blade a wedge over the green. Like
Mhm.
you took away your stroke gained on field. So tidying up 100 and in and just, you know, dialing it, it's all missing better. You know,
Yeah,
I
no, it's penalties. Like, think about this. I've played a lot of golf with you, and outside of where we played at the country club where you're kinda working on some swing changes, you don't hit very much. You don't hit the ball out of bounds. Like, your alignment is always good, and you hit the ball straight, even your miss hits. So there are times you'll miss hit it, you'll thin a driver. I've seen you do this, and it's low off the ground, caught at a groove low, maybe a little heely, but it's still 250 in the middle of the fairway. Your miss hits are really good. And that's where I've got to get to. My miss hits cannot be stroke and distance penalties. That is just absolutely brutal and impossible to score, impossible to get to scratch with penalties. I mean, you look at guys on tour, they just don't hit it out of bounds ever. Like, it's very, very, very rare.
yeah.
So I'm gonna
It's in
fix
the
that.
You've got it. It's in there. I mean, it's in there and you know what
All
to
right.
work on.
Number one, not your favorite course or best course, just what of all the courses you played this year, which course would you say is the most fun? That you if you had to play one course of the new ones that you played this year, and you had to pick
Oh,
that one to play over and over again because it's fun, which one is it?
mm, I'm gonna say Sunningdale, with Mike Blackham. Sunningdale and Royal St. George's with Mike Blackham. I thought, uh, throwing in a Heathland and a Links in England, I thought England was just spectacular, and those 2 courses in particular. I wanna throw in St. George's Hill too, um, but I thought those were really, really special. And then as far as most fun experience, Shanken Bay in China, Tokyo Golf Club, and Ardfin. I'm gonna go
Okay.
3 and I'm gonna go 3 and 3. Um, just so unique on each of those 3 experiences, and then the other 3 are just so fun. And the perfect mix of challenging and fun. Like you can play a pitch and putt like the Cradle at Pinehurst, and that's just fun. But as far as like a full golf course, I like a good mix of challenging and fun. I like there being a premium on having to hit a good tee shot. I hate wide open courses. I like having to hit
I love wide open courses.
yeah, yeah. I like having to hit a good tee shot. I like having to put your iron in the right spot. I like having to use creativity with the short game. And like Sunningdale and Royal St. George's just had both in abundance. They're beautiful, they're fun, they have history, just so much fun. I hope I get to do them
That's
again.
great. Well, for me, I would say let's just say my most fun round of golf that I had this year might be the chain at Stream Song when I played with Nick and your business partner Brad and Nick Kirsch. And part of that is because of the way that we won that match and how it went from a low key dinner to a dinner at the Breakers that you showed up at, and it, we ended up spending quite a bit of money there. So that's always going to be a memorable. You want to just talk about fun? That's a fun setup, and I'm going to a course tomorrow down close to Chattanooga called Sweetens Cove. It's a similar type of theme to the chain where it's just you go and play and have fun. There's different flag sticks that you can hit to, different tee boxes, and it's just a 9-hole course that we're going to play as much golf as we can tomorrow. So
I've always wanted
I'm
to play
fired
it.
up by that.
I
Yeah,
only have I only have 2 parting, comments. One is I'm really looking forward and excited to our upcoming shows, with each of our respective
yeah,
teams for the Golf and Politics Ryder Cup. I think that'll be great fun getting to know everybody. Um, and also, before we close, I want to send my sincere condolences on behalf of the show to the Cheney family.
absolutely.
Brad Cheney lost his father, Hank, last week. Suddenly, Hank was a Methodist minister in Vermont. I went up to the service in Vermont, and Brad gave a just beautiful eulogy, and even joined family members with his guitar and sang a song that was important to his dad in front of the congregation. And it was just really beautiful. Obviously, a wonderful man, wonderful human being, gone too soon. So kudos to Brad Cheney for really a beautiful service and a beautiful eulogy, and our heartfelt condolences to him and his family for their loss.
Absolutely. And I read the eulogy that Brad wrote, and it was really touching and moving. And clearly he was a good man because he raised a great son. I mean, Brad is one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet in your life, and probably our biggest fan and loyal listener. And so we appreciate all the positive reinforcement that gives us and the support that he gives us.
And a
And
great
I
guest, and a
just
great guest.
Yeah, for sure. Great guest who will be on the show many more times in the future. But yeah, that eulogy was really well written, and um, I'm very fortunate to still have my father. But I can't imagine how difficult that is. I know you've gone through it, and we've talked about that. So,
Yeah.
been praying for Brad for sure. So, guys, everybody that's been listening, thank you so much. And I want to also encourage you. Rob brought up the Golf and Politics Cup, and we're going to be having a preview show coming out here very soon. We're also going to have shows with all of our teammates to give a deeper look into the GMP Cup. There's great sponsorship opportunities. We already have lined up some incredible sponsors. There are still sponsorships available. And contact myself, contact Rob. We'd love to have a partnership with you and do activation to help sell products here on this program for your business. And the best thing you can do to help that is subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and go to golfandpolitics.com and sign up to be part of our email newsletter. We promise not to spam you, but we'll send something very informational once a week. And also follow us on all the social media. So, Rob, this was really inspiring today. These courses in Scotland, man, I got to get over there and play.
Yeah,
I
we'll
have
do it.
what's interesting is, like, I have to check the old course the the list, right? But, North Berwick sounds like a course that I really want to play more than any of these that you talked about. I mean, obviously Ardfin is I need to sell some more direct mail to be able to afford to do that one, but just an incredible trip. And my favorite story is the guy at Troon that they got you on there. And I just want to inspire all of our listeners. We can tend to take our golf games too seriously. Let's keep our eyes and ears open for ways that we can do that. It doesn't even have to be at a Royal Troon. It could be at the local muni. You can always pay it forward and help somebody else out in the game of golf. And we're all blessed to be able to even play this game and travel around the world doing it. So, you know, make sure we always understand what the real purpose of playing golf. I know that's something I got to remind myself about. So, Rob, thanks for sharing all that. Thanks for busting your butt so you can go around the world and do these things and share these experiences with us, man.
Well, sounds good. That might slow down this summer around but we've got some big tournaments coming up with the Ryder Cup and with MG Cup. So got
Lots,
some other.
lots of great golf ahead. I
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said, I think I've overdone it a little this year, but the problem is I've already scheduled out things for July. This week I'm going to Sweetens Cove tomorrow, the Hidden Creek member guest. Then I'm playing that TPC course that's in Princeton. I can't remember the name of it. Sleepy Hollow and Trump Westchester, so I can get some good dock sniffing up there in Westchester.
Sleepy Hollow, number 15, might be my favorite par five in the world, if not top three.
Well, I'm
So
fired up for it. So
a blind punch bowl par five. You hit up over a hill, and it literally rolls down like 100 yards down to the green and swoops all the way around. I mean, it's unreal.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we're going to keep bringing you great content.